Well, hello there and welcome to episode 15 of my self-employment vlog. This is a slightly earlier than scheduled episode because today I went busking for the first time. Now, it was something quite new for me because having never busked before, I didn't know what to expect, but also with the current climate, I also didn't know what to expect. And I had to be a lot more careful and cautious about how I went about busking to ensure the safety of myself and others. And I wanted to share with you just some of my experiences because the aim really of going busking today was for me to just do a test run really to see what it was like to experience setting up, performing, packing up, and the whole process really of getting to my pitch, performing and going through that process and looking at sort of trying to identify some of the things that maybe go wrong so that I can hopefully improve the more that I do it. So the first thing that I have learnt is that busking is hard work. I mean, physically it's hard work. Now, I was able to fit everything that I needed into my case so that I could take everything in one go from my car where I parked down to my pitch. And I didn't have too far to go. It was probably around about 200 yards. But by the time I got there to set up, my arms were like jelly, and that was before I'd even played a note. So, you know, I take my hats off to buskers because it's really physically tough. And it was really quite tough on my knees, I've got to admit. Now, as you know, I've had quite a few issues with my back, which thankfully has been better as of late. But yeah, very physically demanding. And that doesn't take into account, you know, the concentration as you're playing. So yeah, it's tough. I feel really tired actually having just done one set. So I can see that actually physically I'm going to get stronger and fitter, but it's going to take quite a lot of my energy. So yeah, I definitely learned that. Secondly, I learnt about the dangers of little tiny gusts of wind. Yes, just a tiny breeze in fact is enough to move paper, your sheet music, pages turning over, and just generally cause disruption. And I hadn't anticipated that today. Now, my set that I performed today was about 50% memorized, and then the other 50% I needed sheet music for. And I think I've learned that learning the music from memory is definitely the way to go, because I had several instances where the sheets were starting to turn because of the wind, and this disrupted the flow of my playing and caused me to be less relaxed when I was playing. So that was a big issue today. In fact, I'd say that was the main issue for me was the sheets of paper. So the only real remedy to that is for me to learn all the music, which, you know, I will do. You know, eventually it just takes time. But yeah, that was an issue for me today, and that did cause me some problems. Thirdly, I felt that the sound that came from my speakers was really quite nice and a decent volume, because I was a little bit concerned because I decided to buy 2 Bluetooth speakers instead of an actual amp, and I was worried that the sound might not carry. But the speakers that I purchased were, you know, rugged, hard wearing, and they could kick out quite a lot of power. And obviously having 2 of them meant that I could have, you know, double the sound volume. And actually I felt that the volume was good today and the sound quality was good. It carried nicely, and I had, you know, some comments from people who'd said that the sound was good and that they could hear it from a good distance without it being too disruptive. So that was great. Fourthly, I have discovered that my equipment, and in particular my trolley case that I use, is going to take a lot of battering. It doesn't matter how careful you are. I think a lot of these kind of peripherals, you know, like wires, cases and things like that, are going to need to be replaced probably quite frequently. I am a little bit worried with my case because whilst it has caster wheels, I am worried that they're not going to last very long because, you know, I'm moving around quite a lot of weight. You know, only time will tell on that, but I am a little bit concerned. But on the flip side, you know, having everything in one case so that I can just wheel it to my pitch is really quite nice. And whilst it's heavy and quite tiring, it means I can get to my pitch securely without having to go back or anything like that. So that's really good. Finally, I wore a lot of you know, nice busking gear that I wanted to sort of wear something that made me feel like I was working as a busker. So I had my custom t-shirt on, and I had a nice new shirt, and also some nice smart shoes. Big mistake with the shoes, because I was bending over and going down to the floor quite a lot. I've already scuffed them up big style. So whilst yes, I felt good wearing them and they looked really nice, I think they weren't practical for the purposes of what I was doing. So I think next time I will go for smart trainers, because that just allows for a little bit more flexibility when moving around. So how did it actually go today? Well, obviously shops aren't open, and so not very many people are around. There are a few places where people are going, such as B&M, which is open, and also you've got the post office and pharmacies and things like that. Those are really the main things that are open in the high street at the moment, so footfall is very, very low. However, what was good is that B&M was around about 20 yards from where I was busking, and because of the queuing system, there were often quite a lot of people that were having to queue outside, and they were just stood around in a queue and they were able to hear my music nice and clearly. So I think that was good. I think people got to hear my music, and you know, hopefully they enjoyed that whilst they were waiting to go into the shop. However, people, you know, some people did donate a little bit of money, which was fantastic, and I really appreciate that. You know, and I had some nice comments from a few people as well. So, you know, it goes to show that, you know, if people like what you're doing, you know, they will let you know in one way or another. So, you know, so generally, I feel that I learned a huge amount from doing this. It was successful. It went well. I'm proud of myself for doing it, because just turning up, you know, and unpacking and then just playing out in public is, you know, that's quite a big deal, especially with the current climate of things as well, because I wasn't sure if I would have any negativity, if anyone would maybe sort of think I was being irresponsible. But I actually think I did really well with the social distancing. I was able to set myself up so that I was on an angle so that I could see my CDs and my money tin. But my money tin and everything else was at least, probably, yeah, at least 2 meters from me. But it was very visible, and it was very easy for me to get to if I needed to. And so people could walk up quite easily without being anywhere near me. I was tucked away really well. So the contact side of things was great. There was no issue there at all. As you saw from the start of the video, I had a scarf covering my face. So I do feel that I put a lot of effort into making sure it was a safe experience for everyone, and I do feel it was, and I think it was a success. Yeah, so I'm really glad I did it. I'm absolutely shattered now, but I'm looking forward to doing it again on Friday and see how it goes. And then I think what I will probably do is I'm going to ease off the busking then to maybe once a week, and then when shops start to phase their reopening, then I'll start to increase my busking amount then. But I just wanted to get a sense of what it was like to do it whilst it was quiet, and I do feel it was successful. So that's it for now. I just wanted to update you and let you know. Sadly, I didn't take any video footage of me playing because I was so awash with things. There was so much to do, and I was so worried about losing anything or something being taken or damaged that I didn't get to do any. So hopefully on Friday I'll try my best to take a little bit of footage of me playing. So anyway, thanks a lot. I will see you soon. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye.